Hey guys, what's up? So in today's video, we are going to be talking about my favorite Jackson's album. It's my favorite because of its disco vibes, soulful ballads, and relatability. We're going to be talking all about the Jackson's Destiny album. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss this one. You are now watching MJ Fangirl TV. Girl, you got Alright you guys, so if you have not seen my face before, my name is MJ Fangirl, and I make videos for and about the Michael Jackson fan community. So if you guys are interested in any of that, make sure that you consider subscribing before you leave. Hit the notification bell as well so that YouTube alerts you when I upload a new video. This is my personal copy. I always had this on CD. I used to listen to this on my CD Discman player, like the personal CD player, and I had my headphones, kind of like an iPod, kind of like the iPhone, but not. I'm gonna talk to you guys about some facts related to the album, talk to you guys a little bit about the history, and kind of go through track by track and talk about some of my favorites and my least faves. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna rank all of my songs choices from least favorite to my very favorite at the end of the video, so stay tuned if you want to see that. Alright, so let's talk Destiny. Now the Destiny album was released on December 17th of 1978. Pre-production was mostly done at the Jacksons' home in Havenhurst, in Encino, California, and the Destiny album was also recorded at various studios in California. The years that it was recorded was from 1977 to late 1978, which you guys may also know was around the time that Michael Jackson began recording his first solo adult album on Epic Records as well. That album is called Off the Wall, and that was released in 1979. Now, one of the things that makes the Destiny album unique as a Jacksons album was this is the first album that the Jacksons brothers produced themselves. To give you guys a little bit of background, the Jackson 5 were with Motown from 1969 all the way until 1976 when they decided to leave because they wanted more creative control. At the time, Jermaine Jackson decided to stay, so he remained a part of Motown. At the time, he was married to Berry Gordy's daughter, Hazel Gordy, and he wanted to remain where he believed his loyalties lied, with Motown. Now the other four brothers, which are Jackie, Tito, Michael, Marlon, moved to Epic Records, and they brought their youngest brother, Randy, along with them. So they could not take the Jackson 5 name. At that point in 1976, they became officially known as the Jacksons. Now, although one of the reasons why the Jacksons moved from Motown to Epic Records was to get creative control, it's important to note that they actually didn't produce the first two albums. The first two albums that they had on Epic Records were the Jacksons album and also Goin' Places. These records were actually produced by independent producers known as Philadelphia International, but better known as Gamble and Huff. Gamble and Huff was really popular. If you guys know some of the really popular Teddy Pendergrass songs and a lot of the OJ songs, they just had this really unique Philadelphia sound. And yeah, they worked on a lot of those albums those two albums for the Jacksons, and you'll see that on those two albums you will note that there's not only a logo of Epic Records, but there'll also be a logo of Philadelphia International. Michael Jackson talks about the production of the Destiny album in his autobiography Moonwalk, which I recommend that you guys all check out if you have not already. And one of the things that stood out to Michael was that when the peacock is in love, its feathers bloom and it becomes like a rainbow of colors, and that's only when the peacock is in love. And that's kind of the message that he wanted to convey about the Jacksons and their intense devotion to each other, but also to their several different various interests that they had. So Michael thought that the peacock would be a great emblem or symbol to represent the Jacksons, and they didn't want to heavily rely on the Jacksons name, so they decided to name their production company Peacock Productions. And Destiny album was a part of Peacock Productions. One of the other things that makes the Destiny album really unique is that this was one of the first times that Michael worked with Greg Philliganes. Now some of you guys may know Greg Philliganes from this really cool clip from the Bad Tour. Gaines worked with Miqo throughout most of his solo career, and I love how Miqo talks about Moonwalk, how Greg Gaines was young, but that they really trusted him because he was taking all the ideas that they were sketching out and basically arranging them in musical form. There were certain sounds that the Jacksons really wanted. They wanted funkier horns, they wanted crisper, cleaner sounding music, and Greg Gaines was able to take what they were explaining to him and providing him with and able to put that down onto music. So I thought that that was a really, really cool fact. So I'm gonna just tell you guys that this record has a lot of standout hits. We have to talk first about Shake Your Body Down to the Ground. That was like a huge disco hit. When the Jacksons first demoed it, it was actually called Shake a Body, and now it's called Shake Your Body parentheses down to the ground. And one of the cool things that I love about this song is just the story of how they made it. If you have not heard, definitely check out the demo of Shake Your Body Down to the Ground. It was released on the Ultimate Collection in the early 2000s, and I think it's totally worth listening to. You can hear the brothers really getting down and like enjoying the groove. And Shake Your Body Down to the Ground is just such a great classic disco song. It's a great Jackson song. I find that this is a song that people that don't even know the Jacksons know. Blame It on the Boogie is another great classic song. Honestly, the video always reminds me of the Moonwalker movie because I just have that like image of them dancing with their feet. It's really a cool music video. It's a cool song. And in the Moonwalk book, Miqo also talks about how he enjoyed slurring the words together. He says that he actually sung the chorus without putting his lips together once. Like, I mean, don't quote me on that because it's not a direct quote, but he said it. So I'm trying to figure out what part was he talking about. Because if I say, don't blame it on the sunshine, don't blame it on the moonlight, my lips just touch. So I'm not sure if he's talking about the part that goes, blame it on the boogie. So maybe he's going, boogie. Leave a comment down below if you have any idea what Michael's talking about. He talks about it in chapter 4. All this that I'm referencing is about in chapter 4 of his autobiography, Moonwalk. So read that and come back to this and let me know what y'all think. Now, I have to be honest with you guys. One of the reasons why the Destiny album is my favorite is because I find that it's so relatable and I feel that it's so soulful. And I really love soulful Michael Jackson music. And I think that this album has so many standout soulful ballads. I would be remiss not to talk about them. Let's start off with Bless His Soul, which is one of my favorites, and I think it also has an autobiographical component to it. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because if you think about it, think about back to what I said earlier in this video. The Jacksons had been on Motown for years, performing songs that other people wrote for them. They'd been moved to Epic. Again, they weren't able to really produce a lot of those songs. The albums were produced by Gamble and Huff. It had that kind of Philadelphia sound. And I think that the Jacksons were kind of still waiting to break out of their shell. And the Destiny album was where they pretty much had like full creative control, you guys. They wrote so many of the songs on this album and produced a lot of the music. And I feel like it really was a time when they were able to like speak out about a lot of the things that maybe they were experiencing inside emotionally. There's a part of the lyrics in Bless His Soul. I'm actually gonna read it to you guys. It says, sometimes I cry cause I'm confused. Is this a fact of being used? There is no life for me at all because I give myself at beck and call. Something's soon to come over you. You just can't please the world and yourself. You gotta start doing what's right for you. Because life is being happy yourself. Now, I took that to mean, you know, and again, this song was written by the Jacksons. It doesn't specify who, but I believe that this is just really reflective of what the Jacksons were going through at that time. You know, being able to do things for themselves and not really having to like work to please everybody else and the label and this and that. And Michael also talks about at that time that he was starting to feel a tremendous amount of stress and pressure on himself, like that everyone kind of wanted a piece of him and that everyone was kind of wanting him to do something for their own various reasons, and that Michael at that time really had to start deciding like, all right, who am I gonna give myself to? Who am I gonna, you know, be able to devote time and friendship to so that I can still have a piece of me to myself? and I thought that that was really interesting. And on to another similar track, That's What You Get for Being Polite. Miqo talks about this song, and he has been quoted as said, I'm gonna actually put the quote up here. That's what you get for being polite was my way of letting on that I knew I wasn't living in an ivory tower, and that I had insecurities and doubts just as all older teenagers do. I was worried that the world and all it had to offer could be passing me by even as I tried to get on top of my field. So yeah, that I thought was another interesting tidbit when it comes to just how Miqo reflected upon one of those standout songs from this album. Now, I'm gonna get into my favorite tracks. Now, I'm gonna let you guys know, again, I love this entire album. I can listen to it without skips, but if I had to pick 3 songs, my favorites would be Bless His Soul, Shake Your Body Down to the Ground, and Destiny. Destiny is like one of those songs that just hits my heartstrings. It pulls at my heartstrings every time. That guitar opening, and just like the way that Miqo's singing and the background vocals, like the Jacksons, they all do an amazing vocal performance on this song. I love the music and I love the message. So you guys probably know if you've been here for a while. If you don't, I live in New York City and I've grown up, I've lived here my entire life, and I know a lot of people move to different cities like New York or Los Angeles or Tokyo or wherever to get like that corporate life, that fast life. They want the big bright lights and, you know, the nightlife and that corporate success and all that. And I think sometimes growing up in a city, you oftentimes crave like the simpler things. And I think in Destiny, Miqo really spoke to my heart because he literally says the city life is not for him and that he wants something simpler and he wants to find his destiny and he's gonna keep searching till he finds it. And it is just so soulful, and I just feel like Miqo does a great job of emoting, and all of the brothers do such a great job on this one. My least favorite track is All Night Dancing. I'm just not a fan of that song. I don't know, I just don't feel like it really fits into the type of Michael Jackson song that I enjoy. Like, it kind of reminds me honestly of Burn This Disco Out. I just am not a fan of that kind of song. I don't know why, but anyway, here is my ranking from worst to best, from least favorite to most favorite. Of course, it's Michael Jackson, it's the Jacksons, so I love every song pretty much, but here's my list. I wrote it down so I wouldn't mess up. My least favorite is All Night Dancing. Number 7 is Bless His Soul. Number 6, That's What You Get for Being Polite. Number 5, Blame It on the Boogie. Number 4, Push Me Away. Number 3, Things I Do For You. Number 2, Shake Your Body Down to the Ground. And number 1 is Destiny. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I never want to give you guys just my own personal opinions, but I want to give you guys some background and some cool tidbits and information about the production of the album and how some of the artists, well, Miqo, really here's who I'm quoting, reflected upon those times. So let me know below if you'd like me to do more album reviews like this. Do me a favor and also let's get the discussion going about the Destiny album. Do you like the Destiny album? Let me know what your favorite tracks are. Let me know what your least favorite tracks are. Feel free to rank them kind of like I did in the video. Again, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. We're almost at 5,000 followers and I'm so excited for that. Yay! I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Appreciate you guys so much and I will talk to y'all later. Bye!